Host Melissa Rosenblum is one of only a few women certified by the Supreme Court of New Jersey as a criminal trial attorney. When you add kids, a booming law business, and a little black book full of subject matter experts, you've got the Mighty Merp podcast. And part 3 in this series.
And worst leadership advice you've ever gotten?
Oh, worst leadership? Somebody said one time when they took over something that they were going to keep everything status quo. Nothing stays status quo. The way things are today is not going to be the way things are 2 days from now. And that's important.
Yeah, I think the statement that drives me crazy the most is if somebody says to me,
that's the way we've always done it.
It's the way it's always been done.
Yeah.
It gets me crazy.
Yeah.
Because obviously a lot in the world has changed, not only in the last few years, It
changes every day.
Yes. So with that, what do you think right now is the biggest misconception that the public has with police or leadership within the police? And I'm talking about the general public, not even, I'm a criminal defense attorney. I interact with police and law enforcement all the time. I get to see good. I get to see bad too. I get all of it. But I would say the public, like people who are just not involved in any way in the legal community, the law enforcement community, what do you think the biggest misconception is?
Well, at times people don't like the police because you're telling them what they can't do. And nobody wants to be told what they can't do. But I think, law enforcement is at least, it is. It's cyclical. When I went into the state police, the Vietnam War was still going on. And if you had short hair, you were either in the police department or you were in the military, and neither one were looked at favorably. That all changed probably in the early 80s. And people really, really liked the police. And it was that way for probably 20 years. And now it's starting to change. Now it changed again where people are not real happy with police. But it's going to change. That'll change. I mean, all the things that are going on in the world right now, it's going to get better. It will.
Do you think that within the police departments, state trooper, that things have to change?
Well, again.
And I know that's a big question. We're talking about how things have evolved and how, the systems in place that work even 20 years ago might not be the same systems that work. So without, with everything that's been in the news, without anything specific, do you think there's things that the police can do, law enforcement can do to have that level of respect that they had, in the 80s and 90s? Is there something that has to change? I mean, we know social media has changed things for good or bad, and it's not always good, but is there something within the police departments that need to change?
With every generation, the police departments change. I think back, I look at these kids today and I say, I don't know that I would want to do it today because, and I'm saying that as somebody who's my age, who did this, who started in 1969, it was a different world. Mm-hmm. And I knew the way it was then, and I dealt with it the way it was then. It would be hard for me today to deal with it the way it is today because it's totally different. Everybody has cell phones. You arrest somebody and there's people taking your picture and making videos and all that. That's a good thing because the police now know that they're being photographed. Probably one of the best things that ever happened to the state police was when they put cameras in the cars. Because
you think for everyone, for the police officers themselves, and the public.
Yeah, when the cameras were put in the car, there were 60 people that were stopped who claimed all kinds of stuff. And when they went to court, and I remember this vividly, when they went to court and they were shown then they were VCR tapes. The VCR tape, they kind of, maybe I shouldn't fight.
That's not how I remember it.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I think it works to the benefit of everyone, to be honest with you.
No, it does. It does.
And I say to my clients who tell me their version of the story, I say, I hear what you're saying. I believe you, what you're telling me, but there's going to be body-worn cameras. Yeah. There's going to be motor vehicle cameras, and motor vehicle recordings. We're going to get everything. We're going to review it together. We're going to discuss it again. And there are times that what they tell me matches what's on the video, and there are times that it doesn't match, and we have to, reconcile that and discuss it, So I think it actually works best for everyone.
No, it does. It absolutely does. It keeps everybody honest. Maybe that's the word.
As simple as it is.
Yeah.
But when you said, looking back at when I started in 1969, and no cameras, no video, it's a different world, and that you're not even sure if you would have taken that same route. I trying to make light of this. I think, I have 3 kids in college and one almost in college. And I think, thank goodness there were no camera phones and no recordings. Thank goodness.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No evidence
of
anything I might or might not have done.
Sure.
And I try to remind my children of that all the time,
Well, one of the things in my department now in the county is the police academy. And these kids don't realize that when they apply for this job, all the social media is checked that they own. And there are things that are found out that you don't want anybody to know.
You should say that again for anyone who's interested in the state police.
Yeah, or any police department.
Any police department. Yeah. You're telling me any police department does a social media background check.
Well, I don't know if they all do, but they should. I know the state police does. And again, the stuff that's found that knocks people out.
So I'm going to ask a follow-up question.
Go ahead.
Is it because it's under their own names, or even if they use a different name? So, for example, my name's Melissa Rosenblum, but people know me as Merp in a lot of ways. But, I don't think the police would know me as Merp. So are they using aliases, or they're just open and notoriously posting on these social media sites?
I think, unless you're really trying to hide something, I think a lot of people use their own name.
Well, I'm going to tell you, my advice to my children from the time they were 13 and had their first phone: do not post anything on any social media that you would be embarrassed for your mom, dad, or grandparents to see.
Yeah.
And if now, I'm not saying they always abide by that, but that was the litmus test.
We've all done dumb things,
I know. Stupid teenage boy syndrome is real, and it lasts. So right now you're working for Atlantic County.
Yes.
And you oversee and supervise a number of different law enforcement agencies, right?
Well, not only law enforcement, but some are law enforcement and some are for example, we have the Fire Academy, the Police Academy, the Canine Academy, the Fire Marshal, Office of Emergency Management, Highway Traffic Safety, which provides all of the federal funding to the local police agencies for traffic stops traffic checks or checking for seat belts, that kind of stuff. So, and there's a lot of money in that. That's what's in the department right now.
And you've been doing that since 2018?
Yes.
How long do you think you'll be doing this for?
As long as I can.
There you go. All right. Any last thoughts about leadership? If somebody said to you, I'm just not a leader, what would you tell them? Or, I want to be a leader, but I don't know how.
Well, I would ask them why they don't think they're a leader. And then I would tell them, start reading. There's a lot of good books out there that are about leadership. Some are well, there's one, Attila the Hun's leadership secrets or something like that, and they use Attila the Hun as a protagonist. But I mean, it's all basic leadership, fundamental leadership traits in there, and it's good. But there's a lot of books out there that you could read, and I would tell them I like reading biographies of people who are leaders or who were leaders, and I think that gives you a sense too of how different people do things differently, but they are successful. So,
yeah, I agree. I want to say read, but right now, because I'm in the car more, I listen to a lot of leadership books and a lot of books about entrepreneurship and running a business, and I think it's all connected on how to get everyone to, I don't want to say buy in, but be part of your vision and feel ownership to that as well.
Well, that's part of being a leader. Getting people to buy in. They have to believe that what you're saying is accurate and true and believable, and that is part of leadership. It really is.
All right. So I have a few rapid fire questions at the end. So I think we're at that part.
Okay.
They're really not hard questions. They're more fun way to end it.
Okay.
Do you have a famous quote that inspires you or one that you keep going back to?
A famous quote. Actually, I can't think of any. I can't think of any right now. I'm sure there are, but I can't think of any.
Okay. Favorite movie?
I like all different movies. I like war movies.
You only can pick one that you have to watch forever, over and over again.
Battle Cry.
I know this will shock you, but I have not seen that.
Well, you weren't even born when it was made. And interestingly enough, when they did the Statue of Liberty thing in '86, James Whitmore, I don't know if you know James Whitmore. James Whitmore he's not alive anymore, but he was in that movie, and he was actually the main part of the movie. I saw him from a distance when we were walking up, and I said, "Hey, James Whitmore," and he waved to me, and I said, "Hey, Battle Cry," and he pointed. He said, "You weren't even alive then." I said, "Well, actually, I was, but I think I was 9 or 10 years old. I don't know." But
well, it's fair to say I was not.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you do to relax or unwind? What's your hobbies?
I go to the gym. I don't read as much as I used to because I'm reading all day at work. But that's basically it. I exercise. I try to keep fit, although it's getting harder and harder. But
one of my questions is, what are you reading right now?
Somebody just gave me a book the other day that I started. It's about 3 Medal of Honor recipients, and I just started reading. It's about their lives, and that's again. I mean, I like to read biographies. I don't read nonfiction because that doesn't really get my interest.
All right. The last most important question is, what is your favorite color?
Orange.
Really? I thought you were going to say purple, lavender.
Oh, I like that too. I like that too.
I just always see you when, like, if we're at a function or an event, like the honoring of the municipal court.
Oh yeah.
The opening of the courts.
Sure. Yeah.
There's always
yeah.
Orange. All right.
But I can't wear orange suits, obviously. So.
You cannot wear orange suits.
Yes.
Yes.
So.
Because it always comes back to then what my favorite color is.
I know what your favorite color is.
I think everyone's going to figure it out.
The world knows what your favorite color is.
Mike, thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you.
I know for me, I'm constantly reading to try to figure out what and how to be a good leader to, my firm, my organization, and have everyone excitedly want to, go down this journey and path with me. So I appreciate your time.
Well, I hope I have helped you.
We hope you've enjoyed this series. Don't forget to subscribe, because before you know it, we'll be back with another great conversation. Mighty Merp is available on iTunes, Spotify, and all your favorite apps and players. But the best way to experience the show is to visit mightymerp.com. That's mightymerp.com. Mighty Merp is a production of the Law Office of Melissa Rosenblum and the Niche Podcast Network.